Namaste, hello, and welcome to Soul Fusion Cafe with me, your host, Jess Juntunen, and I am grateful to be here with you again on another fabulous Tuesday afternoon for me here on Eastern Time, lunchtime. So those of you in Eastern might be catching me at lunch, 9 a.m. Pacific. So wherever you are, wherever you're joining from, whether it's live or in the recording, just know it's the perfect moment, right? It's always the perfect moment. And just when we trust that, right, that we're just going to receive the messages when we are in alignment to receive them, and everything is in divine order. If you are joining live, yay, it's so fun. We are at onenesstalkradio.com, your portal for positivity. Amazing radio hosts and music and uplifting talk radio. So you can always just go over there, click listen now, and be tapped into positive messages, uplifting music, support. Awesome. We are also at Facebook. At the onenesstalkradio.com at Facebook, if you search for that, or YouTube, onenesstalkradio.com. And there are ways to chat everywhere. Hello to everyone in the chat. I will see if I'm able to pop on there and look. Not always the easiest while I'm on the show. I need a producer. Anybody out there want to produce? So, yeah, January 5th. We are in January 2021, so it's really exciting, to be here at the beginning of this cycle. Of course, linear time is really interesting. It's a way we measure and pass time here on Earth, but those of us tuned in that understand we have a multi-dimensional presence, there's a lot more going on, right, than that. And it's a big moment. I feel like I say that every week, but it's true, because this entire moment we are in, that we have been really building towards since around 2000 or longer, however you look at it. But this past year and this year now are this insane, amazing energy that are offering us expansion in a way we never have. And this hour is really deeply, in my heart, a gift of community, of connection, of a space to remember the truth of who we are, because it can become very easy to get tired, to forget. During our days, we need community, we need spaces like this, and to connect with one another and remember. And it means just as much or more to me, maybe, than you connecting during this time, because it's just so important, and it always leaves me uplifted. And that's how you know when you're in the energy of your true heart and your authenticity, is that there's a feeling and a upliftment that happens. So if you ever are tapping in and you go, I don't know if a message is of the highest, whether it's coming from you internally or a teaching or teacher somewhere, how does it leave you feeling? Do you feel an upliftment after interacting, or is it making you feel compressed or contracted, right? And that's the measure of when we know it's of the soul and of truth, versus maybe aligned with more of a density perspective, where it could be, ego based, right? And there's plenty of beauty to be gained from that realm too. It's not bad, it's not wrong. And we learn through contrast while we're here. We learn really well by experiencing what we don't like so much, in order to to say, enough at some point. We will say enough at some point. And through the contrast of what doesn't feel very good and what feels good, we learn, and then there's always layers. The ego will think certain things feel good because it's feeding its needs in the moment, but it's not addressing a deeper need. So we can have, hey, I feel good, like I didn't get a bill today, awesome, but it's not really alleviating. It's just alleviating a momentary stress. That's very ego joy, versus a deep centered essence of joy. And so these energies are, it's it's like a lot, and remember you're doing a lot and you're doing enough. And I had to bring in this beautiful self-ascended chakra portrait today. That is the self-ascended chakra portrait, and it is representative of what our body looks like in its ascended form, the energy centers of our body when they're in their ascended form. They are these infinities that go back and forth. So the chakras are often depicted as orbs of energy, and that's true. But that's when we're aligned with more the earth experience, density, body. But as we lift and ascend into our multidimensional presence, those become these beautiful infinities. They lengthen out and they travel side to side, and until you get to the heart, you get two of them, and they go vertically and horizontally. And the heart is the root center of our ascended state of being. So our foundation becomes very anchored and informed by our connection to our ascended state of being, and we're able to flow in a more harmonious place of balance. And once we open the heart, we are opening up all of these chakras that connect us to that ascended system. There's a 12-pointed system starting with the heart. So it's really amazing because we're so supported in activating that right now. And it's a wisdom that has been known on our planet. If you think of the Egyptians, when you see that they're wearing these large headdress pieces, almost like a helmet, they're protecting that divine galactic blueprint, those 12 chakras that open starting at the heart. They're protecting that and, bringing their energy up. So we are at, a really awesome time. But at the same time, it's like nothing we have ever done before in this type of experience of density. My own beloved teachers, Master Lady Kira Ra, wisdom teacher Sri Ram Ka, have, talked a lot about this. And this is a time that we have come to that we've not ever made it to in this kind of form of density. Density being, having a body, being earthly, feeling solid, having, these experiences of separation at this level. But, as we remember the oneness we are, we can bring that into this experience. And imagine when enough beings remember that they're more than this lifetime, they're more than this body, that we are infinite expressions of divine light. Imagine the world at that time, like what it's going to look like when we activate enough beings as a wave, and it's like, you don't like what you're seeing out in the world, then focus in on what you're creating within you. Like every time, it's a practice over and over again. Bring the focus back, because by focusing on ourselves and creating within ourselves the peace, the stability, the love, the worthiness, the deservedness, the abundance, then we are creating this ripple effect that is affecting everyone around us, even beings you never meet. When you stand in the awakened truth of your presence, you're opening and holding the portal for 100,000 others, right? That's Archangel Zadkiel said that. Well, now those that are really standing in their awakened presence are standing and holding it for 1,000,000, and they have the support of the million behind them. So standing in our truth is a huge job. And you wouldn't be listening to this show today or tapping in if you weren't doing this. Maybe you feel like you're not always connecting the dots, or you don't know, or you're just starting this spiritual journey, or you've been doing it a long time and you're bored, whatever. Or you think, great, I'm acing it. Awesome. But there's more, right? There's always more while we're here, and we're doing a lot. And we are shifting so much. So a lot of today's conversation is like, how do we really honor ourselves and where we're at, and cycles? I mean, just feeling the energy of the cycles and how important it is to honor those. And I really look at this, again, multidimensional perspective is kind of my jam, because we are multidimensional beings. So How do we honor the cycles of the body of form? How do we honor the cycles of the seasons of our life and our life cycles, and um, the ebbs and flows that come with being a human, and how do we honor the grander cycles that are happening in our universe and beyond, because it's so much bigger than we think, right? I find it, astrology is really fascinating, can give us so much information, yet it still is even limited because it's of this sphere, it's of this kind of dome that we're in, right? It's the stars that we look at from the perspective of the planet we're standing on. And yes, it all does dance in a harmony and reveal things, but it can become even restraining and restrictive and predictive, right? If you start looking at, oh, this is what's happening in the astrology, so I'm feeling like this because of the astrology, right? You see how it starts to get sticky there. So it can be a beautiful tool, but it also can be a limitation. There's cycles that are much grander than even that are happening. And there is this amazing, I always love to just sprinkle in and talk about the energies happening right now because it's so relevant. And I know so many of you resonate and hear from you, like that supports us, because we need that reminder that we're participating in something really grand and huge. So honoring our cycles, finding that balance point, the stillness where we are really connected to our soul and to our guidance and to our essence. That's what we're diving into this hour. And also very happy to take questions, to do a mini reading. If you just have a sharing about what your experience is with these energies right now, I'm happy to have you call in. The number to call in is 517-208-1500. That number is 517-208-1500. And I'm going to come back over and check out those call lines in a bit. Would love, love, love to hear from you. And again, yeah, questions, if you just have a sharing or you would like a mini reading, I'm happy to honor that request. And as we're talking about all of these energies and cycles and all of this, it's, a lot has been coming up. I was on Soul Mirrors last week with Master Lady Kira Ra. I'm a monthly regular co-host there, and it's amazing. So that's at Oneness Talk Radio as well, or you can find it at Official Street and Kira on YouTube. And we were talking about a lot. Like, that was like a epic show, and Master Lady Kira Ra and wisdom teacher Sri Ramka shared so much that was blowing my mind as a host on the air. Like I needed to go back and revisit some of what they were sharing, because it was so profound what they share about the energies and what is happening. I know there are people that listen to my show that found me through them, and thank you. I love, love, love this community and how this all weaves together. And if you've just found me and don't know who I'm talking about, Sri Ramka and Kira are some of the most pure, authentic beings on the planet, carrying a massive amount of ascension energy, and their energy forecasts and their descriptions of what is happening is so spot on. I've never, there's nothing as pure as it, really, in my own opinion. So if anything I'm sharing is resonating, do check out their work, shriandkira.com, and they have so many resources and so much just free stuff that you can tap into and really get a lot of support. So I bow before them and thank them, because they are really truly modeling service for the planet and doing so much at such a massive level. So we were talking about a few different things, and one of them that came up was about past lives and past life regressions. And this was a moment that was really interesting for me, because I had been having so much of that coming forward, but I did not know that they were going to talk about that. And then since then, I've had a lot of people reaching out to me, whether or not they even watched that show or tapped in, that are going, what's going on? My past life stuff, it's coming up. I had a cosmic life regression with you. I'm receiving things now that are new, so like a lot of different questions about that. And I'm trying to check the chat at Oneness Talk Radio, but I'm not sure that we're even streaming live there right now, or I'm not seeing the live stream. So I can't see you there and say hi in the chat. But I know people are tuning in somewhere, because I see that and I see callers on the line. And but yeah, these past life regressions and what's going on there is very, very profound. It's a interesting experience. So I wanted to pop open this email message from a listener last week. This is from Dear Lynn, and she had called in and requested a mini soul reading, and she was it was so beautiful. I love doing the little mini readings on the show. And she followed up by contacting me after with a question about this, about past lives, and could experiences of past lives be overlapping with experiences of this life? Like, could we be sharing family? I'm looking for the actual specific email, but yes, we could absolutely be sharing certain connections with people from past lives as we are now. We could be journeying with them through different incarnations, absolutely. But the really important thing, and what we talked about on Soul Mirrors last week, that would have been like December 28th or something like that. That was a Tuesday evening. And it's that you're not so much um you're not so much worried about what you were doing or the fascination of the past life, as you would be gathering the seeds, the jewels of the experiences, and noticing, why is this coming up for me, or why am I noticing it or paying attention to it? Because it's the jewel that is speaking to you. That is what um what the healing opportunity is and was. And Kira shared a really profound story about her own past life and jewels that she has been um, receiving. And it was very interesting. But that's the thing, is that a lot of times with past lives, we get very fascinated with, where was I? Who was I? What was I doing? Why was I there? And it's really not about immersing in all those questions, right? And that can be almost addictive in a way. It's really about, why is this coming forward for me, and what's the healing lessons or gifts that are coming up? Because there's like all of these cycles that are converging. There is convergence energy in the air, is there not? And the spiral time that has opened, we are not in linear time anymore. Well, yes, we have one foot in this world of form where you have to keep appointments and you know do things at certain times that we measure and agree on, right? But there's that's like so minute, right? There is this surfing energy and this spiral time, and that's why linear time's getting tougher and tougher to navigate for a lot of us. It's just out the window, right? It can feel like from morning to evening, like we have traversed an entire lifetime of events. It can go by in the blink of an eye. If you reflect on 2020, I'm sure it feels in ways super fast and also very full. If you really reflect on the year, and if you haven't done that yet, I really do recommend sitting down and taking a journal and taking some time to just really be in that reflective space and state with that energy, because it will reveal things to you and you'll be amazed how much happened in that year. So we were really getting prepared for this year as we serve spiral time. We started doing it in December, and this is a really interesting experience, because like I was sharing earlier, we never made it this far in this type of density experience before. Like, we have incarnated in many experiences, and we have not gotten this far into awakening consciousness for the masses as we have this time. And that's what we're here to do, right? So really, your mission and purpose matters so much, and it's probably simpler than you think. It's really about following, what really brings you that peace and joy. How do you serve and bring your gifts to the world? And that's going to look different for everybody. And yeah, I found the message here that dear Lynn shared, and she was saying, thank you for the mini reading. It really resonated with me. And she had a question and was wondering if you could give me some insight to what might be going on for me. I'm receiving strong visions of my past lives. Is it possible to be in this earthly family I'm in now, to have been in it 2 other lifetimes? Yes, like I was sharing at the beginning, like it's absolutely possible to have this earthly family that you have shared for multiple lifetimes. And you're probably getting a lot of these experiences because of the spiral time, and noticing, and the important thing is, why is it coming forth now? What are the jewels of the experience? Are you resolving something? We'll often travel through many timelines with particular beings, and they are there to help our journey, to facilitate it. But we also can get very addicted to multiple lifetimes, especially like on this earth experience. We really got tangled up during this journey where we thought, okay, we need, to experience lifetime after lifetime after lifetime to learn, and we get addicted and attached to it, and the people and players in it. And it's time that we just are ready to break that cycle. We don't have to endlessly keep cycling through. We're ready to break free. So certain beings travel to help us remember, for the soul's own experience and journey, to learn what it's going to be learning and needing as it grows. And it's very, very interesting, because we get real fascinated with, why we're here, where we were, what's happened. And the more important thing is to say, what am I learning? What am I bringing through this experience? Get into a real meditative space, journal. If you're having those experiences coming forward for you, really journal and really be with them, and notice. Yeah, I'm definitely not on the YouTube live stream, and hopefully I'm streaming over at Facebook right now. Um, and I know I'm up at Oneness Talk Radio right now. So really interesting. That's like another thing, is that technology is definitely going a little wonky these days. It's trying to interface with all these new energies and upticks right now as well. And really interesting time. I'm checking out the live feed, just does not seem to be working over at Facebook either, even though all systems go. Says I'm streaming. Well, the recording will be up, and I know I'm streaming at Oneness Talk Radio, and I am going to go over to the call board because someone has called in. Let's see. We've got Heartland, Vermont. Hello, and welcome to the show.
Hey, Jess.
Hello.
Hey, I just had a sharing on this year and the nervous system upgrade. It just seems like it's so much easier, all this massive energy being downloaded. And after the New Year's celebration, I was like, okay, help me upgrade my nervous system. And I was like laid flat on my bed, and they told me, it, hold your healing rods. So the healing rods have been like super, super helpful assimilating these energies and crystals. I was just prompted to call in about this. And do you have any reading that would be helpful to me and others about other things to help ground and assimilate these energies? They're massive. They feel so good. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much for calling in. And I love this. I love what you're sharing. I love this question. I'm just going to mute you for 1 second, but you're still with me just for the phone line to be clear. So, like, go you, first of all, that you are saying, yeah, I'm going to use my tools, I'm tapping in, taking care of the nervous system. Yeah, that is huge because of all of these shifts. Our nervous system is feeling a lot. And what Kim is sharing about is the healing rods that they're Egyptian healing rods. And EgyptianHealingRods.com is where you want to go if you're interested in them, because there are ones out there that are not going to do that for you, and the crystals and things. So I love what you're doing and supporting yourself with. What I'm noticing is insane off the charts. It's going to sound like the most obvious thing, but it's drinking water. I mean, my body really is just saying cleanse, clear, really flow. Like, you think about um, the season right now in the northern hemispheres, it's winter and things are crystallized, and you have that um, need for even extra water in that kind of season. It's sort of like that, just overall in the cycle right now, is that we need to be able to flow and, break apart congestions and things and keep that energy moving. And we need to really lighten up what we're eating and consuming. And you might notice even sometimes that your appetite or desire for certain foods has changed dramatically because it's not supporting you in the same way. So tons of water, put some lemon in it, teas, things that I love from the botanical realm and herbal realm. Lemon balm is such a natural nervous system support that is, of course, look any of these things up and decide for yourself, because herbal medicine is it can be strong, but lemon balm is one of those really like general, easy going kind of plant medicines, and putting that in some tea. It's delicious tasting, and it also really does offer nervous system support. So if there's any kind of stress being held in the body or the mind, lemon balm is really uplifting. Catnip it's another one of my favorites. For cats, it's a stimulant. For us, it helps us relax, and it's another really gentle nervous system support. Skull cap can be very good. Look into that one and see if that aligns or not for you. Do some muscle testing and ask someone, but that one is really good if there's like a lot more stress relevant. And of course, just explore the botanical world. Movement is absolutely essential. You see my drum in the corner here. Drumming for me is amazing. Listening to drums, that kind of music, it's so primal and it vibrates us. But also maybe singing bowls or singing crystals or pyramids, things that help with your vibration and help break up stagnant energies is definitely um, super supportive. And the movement, dancing while you play an instrument or listen to music, moving the spine. We have this rising kundalini. So all of that really does help and support. And I'm so grateful for your question, because I know so many will benefit from that. And yes, and then just tapping in, as you were sharing, I was connecting and just really feeling into this moment, and really guided. I'm really guided to pull a card for you, and my cards are right next to me. My favorite cards, the cards of clarity. And let's just see for this dear one message. Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael came up. You can't really see the image maybe with the glare. This is like Auditlan in the image. Archangel Michael, and he's a number 4 in this deck. And don't you just absolutely love that? That reminder that, he's very present and just saying, you're very safe, you're very protected, and there's no reason to hide anymore. There's no reason um, to wonder what if anymore. So I keep hearing like what if. All the what ifs are moot and done, and it's time to really stand in the knowing that you're safe no matter what and protected no matter what, and to remember that this support is available all the time, and you are very strong and really ready to hold that space for so many others who are ready to say yes to the truth of who they are as well. And there is really this beautiful, I mean, I'm just seeing like the wings, like your wings sprouting, but you need to breathe through the back of your high heart. You know, we often are connecting with our heart in the front. Make sure you're connecting and breathing through the back. There, I just felt it open a little more as you breathe. And anyone listening, you know, connect with this too. Breathing through the back of the high heart. There you go. Beautiful. And allowing that breath to open the back. And you notice as you do, those wings start to have the room to unfurl. And now even my hands are just wanting to just like transmit like beautiful symbols and light. And I'm getting that message too, that you have immense healing in your hands, and to remember to use that. So thank you so much for calling in. I hope that served you.
It sure did. Thank you so much, Jess. You are awesome. Many blessings.
Oh, thank you. I think you're awesome. Oh, thank you so much for calling in and having that tenacity, because this is so fascinating. You know, the show will go on and we are streaming live in a few places, but in a few places the streaming service is not, and you never know what's going on, but it's meant to be. You were here and said, I'm getting on the show, and your question served many people. I feel that, and the gift of that little reading was really powerful. I know for me as well, and those that are tuning in either live or on the recording later. And, you know, this moment, I really felt guided in this conversation to, you know, remember that as we are blooming, right? As we're becoming who we are, to honor those cycles. Like, where are you at in your cycle right now? I know we're in deep winter here in the northern hemisphere, especially up in northern Michigan. And, you know, there's an honoring with that kind of seasonal shift. Even our body does different things in different seasons. You know, there are certain times to honor a little more rest or quietness, to really nurture the body and bring in that warmth and bring in the lights and the candles and the twinkly lights and all of that stuff, and make a really nourishing space and nest. You know, and summer is that action fire energy, and of course we can harness these energies, you know, in different ways during any season, but to really honor that. But also the season of where you're at. You know, if you've been dreaming on some things that you want to bring forward into the world, if it's, you know, writing your book, or if it's starting your business or bringing your business further, or if it's, you know, health goals, whatever the goals are, you know, it's the same, that you have to honor where we're at, right? Just like every flower is gonna bloom, right? If it's going to grow and bloom, but it blooms on its own schedule, right? When you look into your garden, you know, that's why we love to plant flowers that bloom from spring to fall, different varieties. Some of them come up right in the spring, like the crocus, you know. But is the rose sitting there looking at the crocus and saying, oh, the crocus is already blooming and I'm not? There's something wrong with me. You know, I love this analogy because there is a cycle to things, and yes, we have to take action steps and not just, you know, say, oh, the cycle's the cycle, and, you know, I'm not going to do anything right now because I'm in a rest period. I mean, resting is an action, but it's like, are you comparing your cycle to other people's cycles, or are you really saying, you know, I'm blooming in my own time. I honor and respect where I am right now, where I need to be in my cycle, right? I'm not comparing myself. And it's so much a judgment energy when we do that. Comparison is toxic. And Archangel Zadkiel talks about this too. It's a toxic energy when we are in a comparison, and it's really sneaky. If you start just really being aware, awareness is always the start. Awareness, experience, choice, ever refining cycle. We must become aware in order to know something is there. So be aware. How much are you judging? How much are you judging yourself for where you're at? How much are you looking at other people? You know, this is like one of those pitfalls of social media is that so many beings are comparing themselves to what they're seeing presented on that screen, right? And it's almost impossible to not get affected by it, as if you're immersing in it a lot. No matter how elevated we think we are, if we start immersing too much in media, our energy's gonna come down. So how often are you in that comparison energy, and are you honoring like your schedule? Maybe the seed is germinating right now, and and in winter the trees are out there. Yeah, the leaves are gone. They appear like they're dormant completely, but a lot is going on underneath the ground. There's things going on deep down under the ground right now, and by spring, before the leaves even pop out, so much will be moving and happening, and the sap will be moving. So honoring that, if you're in a phase where it's deep nurturing and drawing in and drawing deeply into healing at the root center, at healing um, at these deep levels, and honoring that path. And if the expression of all the dreams isn't as obvious, maybe you're in that nurturing phase. But also, honoring if you're in that phase where it's like, it's time, my flower is blooming right now, and you never look around at the other flowers and say, hey, catch up to me. Hey, why are you already done with your bloom, right? We're just in the experience that is ours, and honoring it. Really take time, really get into some journaling and say, where am I in my process, and honor it, because we are birthing the true essence of who we are into this form. It's always there, and the form is really suspended within it. And we just believed that we were only a form for so long, and thousands of years, that it's taking maybe a little time to integrate, but the energies are there to support us. We can thrive right now, or we can dive deeply into the fear, the judgment, the comparison, those energies. And they offer their gifts. They offer the opportunity to awaken once again. There will come a point of like, oh, that's enough. All beings are ascending in their own way, in their own time. When we can really honor our own cycles, where we can really honor where we are at, then it becomes so much easier to honor where other people are too. And if we catch ourselves judging, just relax, smile, and say, I see it. Because if we start judging the judgment, then we really contracted and compounded the issue. We're not in that multidimensional presence, and we're squarely in density. We're squarely in, limitation and contraction, and we forget the grander essence that we truly are. So if anybody is catching this live right now, the number to call in is 517-208-1500, 517-208-1500. And yeah, really, really honoring these moments, and to cycle back quickly and touch on that past life energy and the cosmic energy. you know you're blooming on a cosmic time frame. It's a lot bigger than you think. Have mercy on yourself. Have mercy on yourself. And I love, love, love this beautiful blessing keeps coming forward to me. And before we conclude today, I would really like to spend this moment um, in this energy and sharing this. This is from Anna, the voice of the Magdalenes. This is a Claire Hart song, and there's this. If you're into the Asene and the Asina at all, and Christ consciousness, or curious about it, I love Claire Hart songs, books for sure. And this blessing that was channeled from Yeshua, which is Jesus, depending how you enjoy to call him or refer to him, but I refer to him as Yeshua. And he's come through with this beautiful blessing, and this takes a little moment, so I'm going to read it to you. And if you are driving right now, I would not go too deeply into it, because it's definitely a meditation and a channeling at the same time as it's a blessing. So, make sure that you are safe and able to receive this, or come back and listen to it afterwards. So, Yeshua's blessing. I am your brother and beloved friend. I am called by my family in the Aramaic language, Yeshua. I am gathering myself for this meeting as I gathered levels of my consciousness in the years after passing through the portal of crucifixion and resurrection. I do this in order to appear unto my brethren and my sisters on every land across all timelines and dimensions. There are many mysteries and many misunderstandings concerning my life, my work, and my relationships. For the purpose of this story, I blend my voice with the voices of those with whom I walked 2,000 years ago. Among these, there were those who knew me in my body of flesh, and those who knew me in my transmuted body of immortal light. For it was after my crucifixion that I attained a full enlightenment of my physical and subtle bodies. I became that may be called light anointed or Christed. I realized myself as a Christ, a teacher of righteousness among my Essene family. Just as Gautama realized himself as a Buddha within his culture, I tarried upon the earth plane for 40 more years, continuing the work I had begun earlier. During the time referred to in the sequel story, however, my service to humanity was accomplished in more subtle ways. And in this guided meditation, he offers the breath of oneness. And just really feel into this. Imagine me as a dear friend, or as an orb of golden light, coming to meet you face to face. A radiant golden sphere of light surrounds us. Within this calm and illumined space, we breathe the breath of life. I invite you to slowly and gently breathe with me. Join your breath with mine. Simply breathe. Exhale. Send any tension and weariness into a light or a flame, as you may imagine it, inside my heart. See my heart flame growing brighter with every breath you breathe. Sigh. Audibly sigh that out. Inhale, breathe in my eternal light, breathe in my eternal love, breathe in my peace. Exhale, I breathe in any pain you may be feeling. It's all right. Audibly sigh. Inhale, feel the warmth of my love expanding your heart, igniting your heart flame. I send you my love and my peace upon the wings of my breath. Breathe in peace. Exhale, I breathe in your pain, all the suffering of your body, mind, and spirit. Give me your burdens, and I shall make them light. My peace I give unto you. Exhale, imagine your sufferings like a moth flying into the crucible of my heart. See your grief, anger, and fear transmute into golden light. A new dawn arises. Inhale, I am the resurrection and the life. Breathe with me again. Remember the Christ within. We breathe the breath of life, my beloved friend. Softly breathe. Rest in the stillness of the great silence. Simply be aware of your breathing. Nothing to do but follow your breath. Just come back to your gentle breathing. Become aware of the breath within the breath, flowing freely with each deep inhalation and exhalation. Breathe in the infinite light and love. Receive me into your sacred heart. Relax. Allow your heart to smile. The stone of separation rolls back from your heart. The Son of God calls forth the entombed Christ lying within. Come forth, awaken, and arise. I say unto you, peace, peace. Allow the quickening of light within every cell. Allow the falling away of what no longer serves you. Breathe sweet peace into every cell. Come into the light. Come away from the tomb of ignorance. Come with me to the pure lands and forgive that which dies and is dead. Gather up your fragmented self and place it all within the comforting womb of your Christ Magdalene heart, the infinite heart of compassion. Let the Christ child grow within you. With each breath receive renewed vitality every cell resurrecting. Deeply breathe. Become aware of the golden orb of light that surrounds us. Allow the form of your human body to be the sun, Son of God, be the infinite light. Come home to the Father, Mother of your being. Let go of your identity in flesh and merge with me into a greater light, beyond all forms. Breathe, relax, simply be. My breath is your breath. The beating of my heart is the beating of your heart. My body is your body. Self and other are merged in divine union, bridegroom and bride, Christ and Magdalene, one life. Now, knowing the oneness, feeling compassion for all life, breathe awake your awareness of the suffering of others as being no different from your own. Gently breathe out your gift of love's pure light into your brothers' and sisters' hearts. Gently breathe in and receive their pain as a ball of darkness. Place the black or dark gray ball of suffering gently inside your Christed heart. Watch as the darkness melts into the light, every heart glowing, every heart is calmly at peace. Be not in expectation of change or reward. Simply allow what is to be as it is. This is infinite love. Just know other is yourself, the great perfection. As I know your heart is mine, so it is that one beyond names continues to breathe the breath of life. Regardless of how many times you may choose to experience this union of souls and hearts, this marriage of spirit, let it serve you well, my beloved brother, sister, my beloved Magdalene. Peace be unto you now, within this breath, and unto the end of the world. Be not concerned about the form I may take when we next embrace, for you shall know me as I am, beyond all forms and names. It is for you to choose, and in this way know yourself as the Christ Magdalene you seek. Lo, I am with you always. And just breathing for a moment on that. And really listen to that again if you need to release and ignite. This is beyond any dogma or scripture. This is consciousness. And this is divine unification with the divine masculine and feminine. This is the balance within. Breathing in the light that we are. I am resurrection. I am light. This beautiful chalice of energy that ignited last year is here, and you are the chalice receiving the bounty of the universe and the light and the connection. Support your body during its cycles and growth. Respect where you are in your personal journey and path, and open up and just receive the gifts that are pouring forth, because you are the master. You are the one that is here in form, able to remember the truth of who you are and bring these gifts into the world of form, birthing them through you. You have a big mission, and that can feel a little scary sometimes to the ego. Fear is at an all-time high right now, and there are so many invitations to be afraid right now. The chaos in the world is mind-blowing or mind-numbing, depending where you're at with that. And it's that time where we say we can't be in the fascination with what's going on in the world, even though the chaos can even be fascinating, and it's almost an addiction and compulsion to see what's happening now, what's going on now. There's a lot going on, right? But that pulls us out of the truth of our real nature and our true presence and our authentic being. When we go and look at the fascination happening there, we forget. And then when we remember, though, we open that portal for so many others to remember again, breathing in the light, breathing out, and really use that practice. There's these ascended masters and beings that are all around supporting us. There are legions, if they're angels, heavenly beings, ascended masters, so many different harmonies and frequencies, and benevolent ones, all of those that are here to help us. And I feel so connected to that cosmic Asina, and Yeshua, in this book, being part of the Essene community that walked the earth. And my mind was blown when Sri and Kira, they taught a lesson Sunday night on Explore the Mysteries, which is another one of their sister shows. And I've been so feeling the energy of alignment and the lion coming out of the woods, and the lost books of the Essene, which were delivered through Sri and Kira, and that are so profound. and they were talking about all this, and I've been just so deeply, I've always resonated with it, but it was like everything they were sharing was already what was bubbling forward in me for days before. It just blows your mind how that works. And that's how you're on that spiral path. You're on that path of connectivity, and you're going up because you're getting those affirmations from around you that, yeah, you're tapped in, you're on the same vibe. There you go, you got it. And the asina, um brethren, is the energy that the Essene were connecting to, right? They were the earthly expression of this energy. And this energy is so just beautiful and available for us to really step into deep forgiveness and self mercy and compassion and release all of the burdens and what we've been carrying and the suffering of separation. We feel like we separated coming here because this realm is such a realm of separation and duality and polarity that we have to come back to the remembrance of who we are. And it's everybody, it's different. How we awaken, and sometimes we awaken and go back to sleep and awaken again. And it's all imperfection. You are enough. What you're doing is enough. Where you are is good enough. Really pay attention to what the self-talk is. There's a lot of self-sabotage, and there's fear, a lot of fear. In this moment of fear, yeah, when you step forward in the truth of who you are, there's a scary moment. What are people going to think about me? What are they going to say? Well, as you've seen say, when the lion steps out of the woods, it's going to be greeted by several energies. One of those is going to be the energies of those that wish to slay the lion, that are afraid of the lion, that are angry at the lion. Some will run away, some will try to attack it. And then there will be those that welcome it and say, yes, you're here. Thank you. And that's what matters, right? But the lion is ready to meet all those energies. And yeah, you carry that fear with you. Any warrior going into battle is carrying a seed of fear as they go. But the fear is not dictating them. It's not telling them, they're not bowing down or letting it be the God. It's that they're carrying it. The ascended master might carry that seed while you're here in form because you have a body of form, but it doesn't drive the bus. You carry it with you and love it for what it's trying to do for you, and not let it take over. Because when we go and take action on our dreams, the ego will come up and scream and throw a fit. So while you in one moment might have felt so inspired and excited, when it comes forward in its cycle of fear and what it does, it's going to say, oh, maybe you shouldn't do that, right? Like that great idea that you were so inspired about, never mind. It will give you 1,000 reasons why not to do it, why not to pursue your dream, why not to go big. And when we are growing, we are going to have some tension of new growth. You're out there offering yourself and showing up. There's going to be some of that little tension until the ego relaxes. And it's so important. We talked about the nervous system and supporting that earlier. Yes, spot on. Support yourself. The body needs the support. You need to call in these kinds of communities like we're sharing right now. If you have not shared in that experience of the community with Tosa and Tree and Kira, you are welcome to check that out as well. So much happening. Women Wellness Awakenings. Consider taking that home study program. You can find that at streetandcure.com. If you would like more one-on-one support or a deeper reading, contact me, Jess at selfascensionstudios.com, or over at my website, selfascensionstudios.com. Undergoing a huge website reconstruction, very exciting, but you can still find a lot of information there right now. And you can find me at Facebook at selfascensionstudios.com, Instagram, Joy Love Jess. So many ways to connect. I love hearing from you guys. I love receiving emails, connections. So yeah, do reach out. And, I can always read your email on the show. If you have a question or a sharing for the show, do let me know. And you can send that to Jess at selfascensionstudios.com, or fill out the contact form at my website. So many good ways to connect and be. And amazingly, we are at the end of this hour. I don't know how it goes so fast in the end. It's amazing. It's amazing to connect with you and be together in this moment. Is 2021. Honor yourself. Call forward the greater balance that exists within you. Ignite that ascended heart and keep lifting into that multidimensional presence that you are. Lift up, and gaze about you and remember the bigger picture perspective. We've got this. We've got this, and it gets to be amazing if we allow it to be. And I know you know what you need to do there, and I support you and love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this planet. Thank you for tuning into this show every Tuesday, Soul Fusion Cafe with me, Jess Juntunen, at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And until the next time, namaste. Have an awesome week. I love you and many, many blessings.